Is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey a masterpiece or a mess? But guys, that is the topic of what Sean and I will be discussing in episode 4. Am I correct, Sean? Is this episode 4 of one movie after another?
You would be correct. That is
Yes.
that is the episode number we are on. Shockingly, we made it to 4 episodes. It's crazy.
Come on, I know how to count. I'm very grateful. So we typically do, hey, how's your week? Well, guess what? We're doing great because we witnessed peak. And we're just gonna dive right into it. But yeah, no, but seriously, this movie, oh my God. I actually want to give the first honors to express, like, Sean, give me your overall feelings. First, your score, then your feelings, and then anything that you just loved or didn't love. Any hot takes. But yeah, dude, talk about your experience with Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Sure thing. Well, so I actually have already seen it twice. I saw it once on Thursday, and then I went to see it yesterday. And so I actually have two different scores. The first time I saw it, I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I definitely had some more mixed feelings on some things, and wasn't really sure how I felt on a couple other things. And then, so I really wanted to watch it again, though. Like, that was no doubt in my mind. I wanted to see it again, and I was luckily able to yesterday, even though, tickets are super expensive and whatnot. I paid good money to go see it, and it was worth it because I bumped my rating up to a 4.5. I don't think it's, perfect by any means. I don't think it's the best Christopher Nolan movie, but it's still a damn good movie, like a great movie. And I was very happy with what he was able to bring to us and bless our eyes and ears with this movie. It is, like everyone's saying, it's epic, and it is a true epic of the sorts. It's a huge scale movie, but also feels very human and intimate in ways that Christopher Nolan does really well. I mean, he's done it in the past with, Oppenheimer most recently, and you got Interstellar, those being the two big examples. And I think he does it again here with the Odyssey and the journey of Odysseus. And I was really, really surprised at, like, the way that he tackled the story, because it's such a known story for thousands of years and has had multiple different retellings and different interpretations. And this is a very unique one that I didn't really think about when I was um, going into it the first time. And seeing it a second time really made me feel a lot better about, like, maybe some of my gripes I had the first time. But yeah, no, I thought it was just a great time. It is a movie that is built for the movie theaters, and definitely everyone should go see it. Which, I mean, it sounds like everybody is, because it's got the, what, like, second highest R-rated opening of all time
I mean, you
for
said it, like, brief note, it made $124 million domestically. It made
hmm
over 260 worldwide, I think, or 250 something, beating The Dark Knight Rises, which was his biggest opening worldwide.
yeah.
I think it's safe to say, just little box office reporting, because usually we go into that, guys, but we're gonna keep it very brief because we're here to talk about in spoilery detail the Odyssey. But oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
this movie made a lot of money, and to all the haters, nobody wants to watch this. I think we have a good litmus test right here. The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Dumb people, smart people. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Just the amount of stupidity. I think that's a whole topic we could cover in an hour. But just to say it briefly, because I've had loads of comments. Maybe I'll put some screenshots here of examples of
Mm.
idiots that are racist, filled with hatred, and they didn't even watch the movie. I actually commented that back to them.
Mm.
And no response, or a ridiculous double downing on the racist comments that they were already putting out. Um, they are dumb. And this is what
Mm.
people get who think they know everything before going into a movie. Uh, and guess what? It's now at a 97% audience. I'm not even talking about critically. audience.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
no,
was. That's what I was saying to you. It was either yesterday or today, but like the audience score is higher than the actual critic score, which you
yeah,
never see.
you
Like
never.
at least for a movie that's scored that highly, like in the
Yeah.
95%, like you never
Yep.
see a score like that be higher, other than like Sinners or Dune Part Two. Those are like the only two that I can think of that have 90s, but also a higher audience score. It's wild, but it also has a solid IMDb score at 8.4.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, yeah, I just think it's just kind of stupid controversy and whatever. I just don't really get why people would go in with that mentality. It's like, it's fiction, it's a movie, like it's really not that deep, guys. Like it's not like there are movies that are political statements, whatnot. This isn't trying to be a political statement. It's just, that's just who they cast in the movie. It's not supposed to offend you. And if you can't handle that, then I feel like you gotta do a lot more looking inward
Yep.
than you do have to, going on Twitter and
Or
talking
go
about
read
some
the
dumbass.
book. Like if
Or go
you
read the book, yeah.
yeah, like read the poetry, read the poem like that Homer did. It's not that complicated, and it's just funny that people
Yeah.
really wanted this to fail, and now this is what I said earlier in a video I dropped. Numbers don't
Don't lie.
lie. They don't. And
Mm-mm.
even if this movie dwindles like maybe 60% drop next week, because there's a lot of movies coming out in this summer, but really Spider-Man in 2 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. I think more people are going to go and hear the word. My brother-in-law texted me saying, "Yo, that movie was fire," and he doesn't like movies. He doesn't care
Hmm.
about movies. So sorry to hijack. Just that it felt natural at the box office and the haters out there that want this to fail. It's probably not. And I'm gonna say this and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, my friend. Do we think this movie's gonna make $1 billion?
I was just about to say I think it's gonna make $1 billion. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
The Dark Knight Rises made $1 billion, and this had a higher opening than that. And while granted, it does leave the door open for there to be a larger drop off in the box office, I still
yeah.
think this one's going to have some crazy legs, even with
Mm,
Spider Man coming. And I
yep.
think we're going to also, I think what also is going to happen too is the weekday, like the weeks, like the days in the week, Monday through Thursday, are going to have a lot, are going to have a lot of box office coming with it. Like, I think it's going to be popular for the next like two weeks straight until Spider Man. And even when Spider Man comes out, I feel like people will be like, "Oh, we can do a double feature of Zendaya and Tom Holland because they're
6
both in
hours
the
of
Odyssey
peak.
and Spider Man, and John Bernthal if you want to add fuel to that
Let me tell you something. You
because
want to go see these movies?
yeah, exactly. He's Let me tell you something about Odysseus. He's yeah, but I think it'll make $1 billion. I think my guess is it'll end up at like maybe 1.2 max is my
Yeah.
guess.
I think it could
But if
push
I
maybe. It could maybe push it a little bit, not a whole lot. I'm not saying like 1.5, 1.6, but yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't
because
and I
rated
don't
R.
think it'll Yeah, well, I don't think it'll surpass Deadpool and Wolverine either. That's the highest grossing R-rated movie at like 1.3 something.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll get there. I think it'll pass Joker for sure.
Yeah.
I think my guess is average. It'll probably end up somewhere around the $1.1 billion range. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I fully agree. But sorry. Yes. Back to your thing. So it seems like you love it.
Yeah, I
Dive
mean,
deeper. Sorry for hijacking.
no, it's you're we're this is a conversation. We're chilling. Don't worry. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just don't do it again. Okay.
Stupid.
Yeah. Next time I won't be so nice. No, but yeah, I really had a great time with this. I do still have some issues though. Like I do think that some of the writing, Christopher Nolan is not known for being the greatest writer of all time. He's a solid writer, and a lot of this movie is very solid. The way that he directs it and the way that he formats it is what makes it so unique and special. But when you break it down with just the writing, like just if it was just a regular movie, like it's fine. Like the writing is fine. But there are some times where it kind of pulls you out a little bit, and I definitely noticed that as I was watching it even a second time. Just some lines and some ways that Christopher Nolan wanted them delivered by the actors, I think was a little off, a little weird. But it wasn't like enough to like fully take me out of the experience. Um, and for other things, I had another thing on my mind. I do also think some of the editing here and there was a little bit too snappy, and especially with some moments like towards the third act, like the beginning of the third act when well, I'm not gonna spoil anything now, but I just feel like there were some moments that were cutting a lot that should have had a little bit more time to breathe, and I just wish like they were able to let that drag out a little bit, but again, nothing too crazy there. That's all a lot of a Christopher Nolan movie, so I'm used to it, but still noticeable and definitely something I would have liked to have seen less of and more just being able to experience scenes fully instead of cutting too quickly. But again, not the biggest deal in the world. Um, but I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, like people were complaining about like the armor and whatever and the sets. I didn't really care about that, and even in the movie, I thought it looked really good. Like I thought the everyone, I know a lot of people are like 50-50 on the Trojan armor. I loved the Trojan armor. I thought it looked kind of cool. I liked like the simple designs of the like simple but like artistic designs of the like the helmets and the chest plate. I thought it looked really cool and unique compared to just having it be regular historical Trojan armor. And not saying that wouldn't have worked. I'm just saying I like how he put his own spin on it, and it makes it stand out. So like in the future, when we look back at this, we know exactly what movie we're going to be talking about when we say the Odyssey. Whereas the Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, you'll show him a picture and you're like, oh yeah, I know what that one is. But if you showed him like some random picture of another, like The Return, for example, with Ray Fiennes, you could show them a picture and they'd be like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah,
So
good point.
I think it stands out in a way where in the future we're going to be able to remember this movie very fondly and its unique look to it. Um, but yeah, I love the sets. I love the practicality of it. Oh yeah, here's another thing. I guess there was some like Christopher Nolan does not like using CGI, but he obviously has to use it in some places. And there were moments of CGI in the Odyssey that honestly did kind of stand out, like pretty badly. The scenes in particular are like in the middle of the film. They're not like super long, but they're definitely noticeable. It's not the Cyclops. The Cyclops looks fantastic, but um,
It's the
the
whirlpool. Are you talking about after the whirlpool? Whirlpool
yeah, like the what is it called? The
starts with C.
Scylla,
Yeah, something like that.
Scylla, something like that. I didn't think that looked great at all. Like I thought that was like, it looked a little too play-doughy. And then when it came to like the giants, like not the like the big guys, but the child giant, I thought that was a little like not. I didn't think that looked great. I didn't think it meshed perfectly. But again, those are just still smaller things in a almost 3 hour long movie. So, but there's just things that I noticed. But yeah, I really liked this. I gave it a 4.5. I really liked the deconstruction of it, and it's a completely different and new take on a story that we've known forever and everybody probably read in high school. And it was, yeah, I really had a good time, and it was even better the second time around. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5. But I know somebody who likes it even more, and that is Joseph over here. So Joseph, give us your thoughts. What did you think of the Odyssey?
Oh man, and just a warning for people. I might go into slight spoilers later on. I'm going to try to keep it non-spoilery with the score first, then thoughts, feelings, and then more details.
Well, people had 3,000 years to read it, so I
Yeah,
think you're okay.
at this point, come on, guys. Come
It's
on.
older than the Bible.
it's a pretty old story. Okay, there's the
Yeah.
Bible, then there's the Odyssey. So yeah, let's get into it. It's a masterpiece. 5 out of 5. I know when I see a masterpiece, at least in my opinion. At the end of the day, film is subjective, and I say this to my friend Sean. I say this to everyone watching. You may not feel the same way, but movies hit you in different ways at different times. Like for me, right now, I'm looking at my popcorn tin of The Batman. Sometimes I think The Batman is the best Batman movie. Sometimes I think Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight is the best Batman movie. Sometimes I think The Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars, or Star Wars A New Hope is the best Star Wars. It comes in waves. That's at least how I view things. And speaking of how we view things, we're going to do a ranking later. And that might even change by next year. So nothing is ever set in stone. When I say it, you might get surprised a year later and like, oh, I thought they had it over here. Yeah, I come in waves, ebbs and flows, baby. But yeah, this movie, it's a 5 out of 5, a masterpiece. For brief feelings, why? It's a fantastic, like, okay, technically, this is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in my life. Hoyt did an incredible job taking on this ambitious front that Nolan wanted to do, which is a all-aspect IMAX 1.43 ratio film, and you feel that especially in IMAX 70 millimeter. Had the honor and privilege of driving all the way to Canada. Shout out to you, Langley Cineplex, and shout out to the employees for letting my wife and I go up there and take a little quick photos and videos. Amazing projectionist, by the way. She's amazing. But yeah, technically it's beautiful, and you really get to see it shine. In either way, I know there's people out there being like, you don't even get to see the full experience. This is stupid. Okay, seeing an IMAX is incredible, 70 millimeter to be exact, but also witnessing it in normal, it still is incredible. It's still beautiful, and it still captures everything that Nolan is trying to go for it. You just get an enhanced experience, and it really is enhanced. So it is a marvel to behold. Also, my ears were beholden to the godsend talented man that is Ludwig. This guy, I think, has delivered his best score. And I didn't think I was ever going to say that because, to me, my favorite score, my favorite themes from him is in Black Panther and Oppenheimer, Can You Hear the Music, is still my number one favorite song from him. But this dude does things with a pluck of the bowstring. Every time I hear this bowstring that is throughout this film, it's like a nerve hits me. It awakens this other version of Joseph. And that's what this score did for me. It felt otherworldly. It felt also romantic. It felt mysterious. It felt haunting. I believe James Blake, I think that's the singer's name, his vocals you can hear throughout the film. It's absolutely beautiful work. Travis Scott's in here too, shout out. Great little cameo. He actually did a pretty good job. A thought, a trick, a war. It's going to be in my head. A man. Oh, just iconic stuff already. And he weaves that in to the score as well. I've just been listening to it on repeat. You can find it here and there. Favorite one.
I noticed it on the second time where you could like faintly hear him talking. I thought that was a nice touch. I don't mean to cut you off. I did want to add. I like, all due respect to Travis Scott, seeing him be the first thing you see in the movie was pretty jarring. I won't lie. I was not expecting that. And I didn't think he was bad in it. I think I liked him more the second time. I'll give it that. But like, and in the future, like, we're not gonna look back and be like, oh my god, it's Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna be like, oh cool. But like, I didn't love it the first time. I was fine with it the second time, but at the same time, being in my age and in the culture that we live in, it's kind of like, okay, that's Travis Scott. Like, what are we doing? But it was fine. It was fine. I liked how he was weaved into the story, but it is a little. It did take some getting used to for me personally. But sorry, you can keep going.
I actually think it's kind of genius because, real briefly, so they obviously worked together, Christopher Nolan and him, because of Tenet, and then they didn't work together with Oppenheimer, and then he came back to collab in this, also on screen, which he didn't do in Tenet, which is kind of cool. But the Odyssey is a poem, and the first person you see is a modern day poet. However you may see it, that is a fact. Rap is a form of poetry, and I think that's exactly what Nolan was going for. And I totally understand though. For some people, it's just going to be like weird. It's like seeing Kim Kardashian trying to be in a Greek mythology movie. It's like, okay, what? I'm sorry. This person is just so famous. It's hard for me to dissociate their presence and see them as this character for just 30 seconds. So I understand that completely. But for me personally, I thought it was kind of genius because he is a modern day poet. And what better way than to modernize the Odyssey, which is what Nolan wanted to do. That's why he did with certain decisions in the story and certain decisions with this adaptation. I thought it was just kind of beautiful. Those are just my thoughts on it. But yeah, it's a beautiful film. Technically, the score, the performances all across the board, flawless, amazing work. And the message, the theme. I think it's a beautiful, introspective look at war and the cost of war to humanity, and how if we don't learn from the past, it's a famous quote, we are doomed to repeat it. And it's the same, basically, it's the same ending in Oppenheimer, just with dramatic flair in a Greek mythology setting. That is the only difference. It is basically the same ending, but I'm not saying that as a negative. Clearly, Nolan has a passion about this, and if you want to make it political, I guess you could try to modernize that feeling for today, but I don't think that is political. It's a fact. War sucks, and it's bad for everyone. It's like, yes, there is a win at the end of the day for a certain side, but there is still a loss for another. And even the winning side still loses things, like people, lives. People are jaded. People want revenge. And then the idea of taking something that was so holy and just destroying it. What the poster with Odysseus and the horse represent, it changes everything that I like. When I look at the trailer, I'm like, oh my God, that scene actually was fine in the trailer, but now seeing in context, especially with Athena's statue, the very first poster, man, what Nolan accomplished in that shot, just amazing stuff. It really did remind me of Oppenheimer in all of the best ways. Clearly, Nolan is passionate about war and how it's damaging for all of us human beings. And I feel like people can agree with that. I don't know why that would be political. I get that we're in a very intense season right now with tensions of war, but it's just a fact. Like the situation happening in real world, brief note, it sucks. It's affecting everyone. It's a horrible thing. And we're not even at like the climax of this situation that we're trying to, let's create peace. No, it's a horrible thing. And I think Nolan, it's just a beautiful film that came out in a time that I think a lot of people need to open up their hearts to. And you can just watch it and just have a great bombastic time at the theaters, be moved with an incredible scene with a dog. My God, I could tear up talking about that scene. I think it's a top 3 Nolan scene. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's up there with No Time for Caution for what he does character work wise. But yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. I want to talk more in specifics, but I feel like I should say the spoiler warning just in case if I do. So at this point, you and me can just chime in even more so, but just keeping on track, because I have notes, people. I don't want to go on like a 40-minute rant and just go in a different direction, but I want to touch on
I would love to
something.
hear a 40-minute rant on it.
Oh, I bet you
honestly.
would.
You can
I
just
bet you would.
Go ahead.
Oh God, I will try not to, but I may just do it. No, but the script here, I actually, hot take, dude, I think it's one of his best, if not his second best, because I think Oppenheimer is his strongest still. I think that is an incredible script, fully captivating, and it's the same feelings I had with this about war, and it's really, this movie, Oppenheimer was about the consequences of science, right? This movie is the consequence of war. And I love that. I love what Nolan is trying to adapt in here. What he did with Oppenheimer was great, and what he does here is also great. And I think part of that, and he talked briefly about the whole, I guess, hot take of him to do it in a modernized style with the dialogue. I found it to actually be exactly what he was trying to go for, which is he wanted it to be relatable. Maybe he was naive. I think that's how he said it. Maybe I'm naive. And I understand. There's probably a lot of people that do think that is a bit naive. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, when you watch a movie like Troy, even though it's littered with inaccuracies, people will say, yeah, but at least they sounded cool. Like, they sounded like they were in that time. Here, yeah, daddy, I don't care. I don't care. It worked. It just worked. And I'm just using that as an example, okay? Obviously, it's a funny line. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a funny line when Robert Pattinson says it. But I'm not saying it's
Well,
genius.
when he says it, I believe it. Like him saying, like, because I feel like that's more of an insult than it is like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
But it's
yeah,
the fact that like,
it's obviously it's an insult, but like
yeah,
when Tom Holland said it the first time, like when he said, "My dad's coming home," or what about Dad when he's talking to Penelope, his
yeah,
mom. I did like that. Those were the moments where I was just like, okay, I have to like get used to it, but I feel like even still, like that first scene with Penelope and Tom Holland's character, um, I just think that one was a little bit jarring. Again, it's the beginning of the movie, so you have to kind of settle in. And also, what I meant earlier wasn't the fact that they're using modern language, because like if this was ancient Greece, this is how modern language would sound to them. So like this would, if they were talking like this is our language today is like how they would view their language back then. And I don't have a problem with that at all. And like and also like there were no British people, so you know having them talk in British accents isn't going to do anything anyway. But like those moments where he's like, yeah, my dad's coming home, like what about dad, what about dad, I'm just like, okay, like yeah, that's like a little weird. But honestly, he only uses it like a couple times in the movie. The rest of the time, he does use father, or he just calls him Odysseus. So like I was fine with that, and I liked how that evolved throughout the rest of the movie. But having the modern language in it, I didn't really think it was a problem. And this is what I say for a lot of Christopher Nolan movies that I feel is true, is that his scripts are very simple. They're not like crazy, like overly written, like stuff like that. It's very simple, and I mean, you could say like surface level or dumbed down or whatever. Like you can use any term you want, but like what I want to say is that it's simple. But since movies are a visual medium, the way that he crafts it into his own visual style is what makes it so enjoyable for me, at least. Like no one here is going around and saying that the Odyssey is the greatest written movie ever made, or Interstellar. Like I love Interstellar, but like I'm not gonna argue and say it's like a top 10 greatest written movies of all time. But the visual experience of the movies is what makes it such a great, just a great film. I mean, that's what he's mastered in his career. Like even Following, which I just watched for the first time, like you can see the sprinkles of what his career would look like and how he tells stories. And I think it works very well here, and it's worked very well throughout his entire career. And that's where I don't like care about the argument of like, oh, it's too simple, it's too bland. It's like, yeah, you can make that argument, but at the same time, it's really not about that. It's about how the movie and the visual and audio experience makes you feel. And I think for Christopher Nolan, he is like one of the top five best doing it. Like him and Denis right now are just absolute kings when it
oh
comes
yeah,
to the audio visual experience, and the Odyssey is no exception.
yeah. No, fully agree. I mean, I wanted to pull up a quote from the movie itself. Shout out to George Carmy for writing this out because he loves to take little quotes. And I remembered, oh, there was one review that I really liked. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, because it's like one of my favorite scenes. This is basically in the last 20 minutes when Odysseus is home and he's talking to Penelope. Penelope doesn't know that it's her
Yeah.
husband. She thinks it's a beggar. Incredible moment too, going back into Troy. Even better than the first time we go into Troy, about halfway through when Telemachus meets Agamemnon's brother. I forget his name. Starts with an M. John Bernthal's
Um.
character.
Oh my God. I know who it is.
Melon. I'm gonna
It's
call
not
him Melon.
Is it Menelaus?
Maybe, yeah, maybe that sounds kind of epic.
Menelaus.
Sounds
Yeah.
epic. Sounds right.
By the way, I have to throw this out here too. I totally forgot about this until just now, and I forgot about this like a while ago. But yeah, his name is Menelaus. But the Odyssey is actually a prequel to Dune because Paul Atreides is related to Agamemnon, which is so funny.
Aura.
It's awesome.
Aura
The Aura farming family, you know.
That shot.
I thought that. Yeah.
Dude, that's is that like a top 5 Nolan shot?
Which one?
Where he's just walking through the gates. Where he's walking through the gates. Is that gonna be like like up there with when they go through the wormhole in Interstellar, or the explosion in Oppenheimer, or the scene with Cillian Murphy just staring at the painting? I don't know why that's one of my favorite shots in that movie. I feel like that scene with the gates opening up, Agamemnon walking through, I think that's going to be, okay, maybe a top 10. I don't want to say top 5 right now, because everybody's just posting that. They're like, can this dude just stop being so cool? Because he's just, and that's the thing with the production and the costuming. Yes, it's not historically accurate. Look up the stuff back in the day. It sucks. No offense to people that love. It looks goofy, but that's what they had. So why would you want that when you could create this super sick, basically Darth Vader version of this character? I'm sorry, that's just what he looks like. He looks like a Greek mythology enhanced Darth Vader, and I love it. And it looks epic. Yeah. So people complaining about it in the trailers, brief note on that production. Yeah, dude, I fully agree. They have to be related. The aura, they are aura maxing.
That's in the book.
Oh man, okay.
I'm not even kidding. First. Like I'm bringing this up. It's because Agamemnon is part of the family Atreus or Atreus, and that's what Menelaus said in the movie. And in Dune, it's Atreides, which is a play on Atreus or Atreus, whichever one it's supposed to be. And so Agamemnon is Paul Atreides' great ancestor to the Atreides family.
Frank Herbert is just solidifying himself even more past his grave, how much of a genius he is. And God, I love art. I love art so much. Like, we can have our own cinematic unit. Let's have the Odyssey connect with Dune Part 3 somehow. Let's create
somehow Agamemnon returned.
Oh yes. He just comes out of the grave. I'm back. No, he just aura farms, floating in Hades. Okay. When he's floating back and forth, that is, notice how no one else does that except for him. I swear to you, he is the only one that does that. I was paying attention the second time. I'm like, okay, yeah, Nolan knew exactly what he wanted to do with this character. He just said, I'm going to give him barely anything to say. He's just going to look sick. Benny Safdie is just going to look cool. And you actually look at the guy, he's kind of a goofy dude. I love the guy, but then you actually, there's a reason. I think it was a smart choice to just show the back of his head. Like, they created almost like this larger than life person. Like, you don't need to see him as a human. He's just this icon. And then he gets stabbed in the throat by his wife. That was also a great reveal.
He was the symbol of the war. Like, this is what I really, really got the second time, was that even though he is like this intimidating figure, like, he was the whole reason this thing happened, because he was trying to get the trade routes from Troy. And so, like, it was never about Helen of Troy. It was never about launching 1,000 ships to rescue her, though it is 500. Still like kind of part of it. Yeah, more like 500, yeah. And like the way that it's portrayed in the movie is like they didn't really seem like they gave a shit about Helen. They just, like, it was all about Agamemnon wanting to open the trade routes. And And I know it's different, obviously, in the book where like they see her as a symbol and like as a trophy. But like she's the one who left. Like she's the one that openly left to go to Troy. She was quote unquote kidnapped. You know,
Yeah.
but she wasn't. She volunteered to go there, and so it's it's Helen's fault that this war even got off the ground because it gave Agamemnon the excuse to go and
Wreak
siege
havoc.
Troy and get the
Yep.
trade and wreak havoc and get the trade routes. But now and then it's Agamemnon's fault for everything that happens, like with how long it takes, like how many people die, like it's the more you think about it, it's a lot more complex than like it just being like, oh, he just wants they just want to get Helen back or whatever. They don't even say
Yeah.
that in the movie. They don't
No.
even say like
Very
at
brief
all.
scenes, like very brief, but you get. That's why I think it's kind of a genius script. But I understand when you're saying it's simple. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just simple, and I agree with that. I think Nolan, some of his scripts, a lot of them can be just, hey, take this and eat it. Tenet though is crazy. That one is just a wild
Tenet,
one. Is
that's what I mean by overcomplicated. I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
movie was way too. I like Tenet, but I think that is way too overcomplicated,
Low
and I
key,
still don't even understand half of it. I'm not gonna lie.
bro, it's a film that don't try to understand it, feel it, man. I'm gonna be that annoying guy. I know I'm annoying for that. It's so good. But with
Hmm.
the Odyssey, the line right here, dude. What if he knew that very night, as he walked through fires, anarchy, and pain? What if he knew exactly what he'd done? And to end the note on, at least for what I think for the script, is it is simple, but it can be so profound in the simplicity with these big ideas and how it focuses on these like introspective looks on war. And the whole thing with Odysseus is really, at the end of the day, is a man who doesn't know how to forgive himself. And even the gods, or what we think are the gods, Athena, that's a whole other discussion. I do believe the gods are real. I know that there's some like discussion theories that the gods aren't real in this world. They are real. There are the
They are 100. If there's
Hades.
Cyclopses in this
There's
world,
Cyclops. Yeah, there's
it's
multiple
real.
scenes that like solidify. Yeah, the gods are real. Maybe Athena. Long story short, I think Odysseus is having PTSD, and the woman they killed was one of the priestesses. But now, I think what Athena is doing is she is embodying herself as this woman, and it's kind of like his conscience, and it is PTSD for him. So he's always seeing this innocent woman die while Athena's statue is being sliced in half. I think that's genius. One of the greatest moments in that film, to me at least. But that's in connection to what I said out loud. Shout out to you, George Carmi, for writing that down for me.
Mm.
I just pulled it up on Letterboxd. He didn't write it down for me. But it's yeah. I think it's a simple script, but there are moments in the script that really shine and that lay out exactly what he's trying to say. But it I felt something. I felt everything when he was delivering this monologue to his wife, Penelope, and the themes. Yeah, dude. I think this is his most emotional movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But after watching it just twice, like I said, my I can always change how I feel in seasons, but Interstellar was the most emotional, and I think a lot of people will still put that as the most emotional still. But this one for me hit the nail on the head, dude. When you get to the moment with when he gets home in probably a top three best act in a Nolan movie, this is one of his best
Yeah,
acts. Just
yeah,
just want to
yeah.
say it
I was
right
gonna
now.
say that. I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say I think the whole movie is great. I think my problems mainly come from the first two acts, but if we were
Mm,
just talking about the third act,
yeah.
I would say it's a masterpiece.
Oh, dude.
It's masterful filmmaking. It's Christopher Nolan at his best, firing on all cylinders for the third act. I think like all my problems that I would have had, like that I had for the rest of the movie, I just go to the back of my head because the final act is just unbelievable.
Oh, dude. And it. rewatching it, I don't know if you noticed this, but my wife and I, we were looking at each other. We were like, because I remember thinking, okay, first time watching it, okay, the first 20 minutes, it's not clunky. It's just, okay, there's a lot of characters. It's mainly with Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway and the suitors. Okay, there's a little bit of flashbacks going, a little bit of Oppenheimer editing style. Shout out to you, Jennifer Lame, one of the best editors out there in Hollywood. Their first, I think, collaboration was Tenet, and she's been with him ever since. Please don't ever leave Nolan. You are amazing, Jennifer. Yeah. But yeah, the editing, I loved the editing here. I think the editing still, my favorite editing from her is in Tenet, because it's just insane what she was able to do. But here, when you get to the first time you're watching it, it's a little like, okay, there's a lot happening. And then the rest of the movie goes and it's amazing. Second time, I'm rewatching these scenes and I'm like, that's a breadcrumb for the final act. That's a breadcrumb for the final act. Why did I not think about this before? So it gave me a new appreciation, and I loved the first act even more. I loved the second act even more. It just kept on building and building, and Nolan that's why it's one of my favorite scripts, because there's just these little moments that, I don't know why, maybe it should have been more obvious. Like I watched movies for as long as I can remember. I can see things coming a mile away. But chasing the escaping sun, top 3 favorite line for me, and my favorite score in the Odyssey by Ludwig. But it hit me in so many ways when John Leguizamo, who it's between him and Matt Damon for best performances, and I'll get to that later, but John Leguizamo is the heartbeat, I think, of this movie, because he, just like his dog, is so desperate for his master to come home. He wants his friend. He wants his, how he says, like, you're like a son to me. He wants him to be home. And Penelope obviously wants him home. His son wants him home. But of course, who is the first person that Odysseus meets? John Leguizamo. And earlier, John, when he's talking to, I think it's either Penelope or I think it's Tom Holland's character, says, I don't even want to imagine what your father would do to these men. Cue the final 20 minutes. Genius. Yeah, exactly. Nolan, you are a freaking genius. I love you. When I heard that, I looked at my wife, I'm like, oh, get ready. These people don't even know what's about to happen. Peak final 20 minutes. The trial of the bow, or the trial of the arrow, whatever it's called. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, that moment there, I thought it was so beautifully written and beautifully placed. And it makes it kind of a rewarding rewatchability going back to it. And I feel like that's rare sometimes in movies today. It's like you can watch a movie and be like, okay, that was cool. I don't need to watch it again. This is going to be a movie, like you were saying earlier. I think it's going to have strong legs. I think people are going to go back and rewatch it. People are going to hear about it and then go watch it. And it's going to be that whole same thing. Just people wanting to see it. But dude, like, to touch on the performances, and I'm curious what was like your favorite performance in the movie, but I really have to say it's between John and Matt Damon, and I think they're both a shoo-in for Best Supporting Actor and Matt for Best Actor nomination. I'm not saying win right now. We still got like 6 months. But yeah, I really believe Matt put his best work. I didn't see Matt Damon. I saw Odysseus. I saw a man burdened with war. I saw a man mad at himself for being what he thought was a bad leader, when actually, yes, he had petty moments. Like, he didn't need to shoot the Cyclops in the eye. That was just petty, bro.
Yeah. But he does that in the book too, but it's obviously different because he tricks the Cyclops in the book.
Yep. But it just shows he's more human.
Thoughts and whatever.
Like, yeah. I think that's why, like, yet again, it's a note in the script that Nolan wanted to show was this guy is he's flawed. He's prideful, he's cocky, and he wants to be right. He wants to lead. This is the guy who created the trick, right? The Trojan horse. Mm-hmm. But he even sees his own flaws, and that's really the whole journey of this guy, is him trying to remember while he's stuck with Calypso, and getting to that moment of realization of what have I done, but also, oh wait, I can move on. And there are consequences for his actions in the film too. He literally leaves his home. But he's going to go sip Mai Tais with his wife for the rest of his life, so he's fine.
Yeah.
But
his wife is Anne Hathaway. He's doing just fine.
Yeah, he's totally fine with Penelope
Yeah.
sipping the Mai Tais with his crew of like probably 50 dudes helping him out. He's good.
Yep.
Good retirement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Matt Damon, I think it is my favorite performance in the film, but then it would be John. Anne Hathaway's fantastic too. Oh my God. There's one scene where she says at the end of her monologue, I want Odysseus. I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
that. And there's, there's acting where it's like, okay, we don't need to yell. I understand you're probably trying to get the Oscar right now, Leo. Leo loves
The
to
feast
yell.
is done.
The feast is done. I think I got the face
That
right.
was
Done.
that moment still is like, I think it works, but at the same time it's like so funny to look back on.
It is funny.
And
I do
like,
agree with
because
you.
when I see it, I just think of Spider-Man for some reason. Like, I think of him in um not No Way Home. Maybe Homecoming. I think in Homecoming he had like a yell or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but he like just the face that he made reminded me of him as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and I just thought that was hilarious. But it works in the movie. It works in the movie. In terms of like my favorite performances, I'd probably say my favorite's obviously Matt Damon. Um, like both times, actually no, just the first time. Obviously, it was a little difficult, like a little difficult at the start to be like, oh, Odysseus is Matt Damon, but like then I saw it the second time, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Odysseus. You like, especially once you get towards like the end of it, like you don't see Matt Damon anymore. You see Odysseus. You see him as the war hero that he has been made up to be, and I think he did a really good job with it. I don't think it's his career best, but I think he was really good, and I'm happy with what Christopher Nolan saw in him as the character, because he's played a lot of damaged characters, especially like even going back to Good Will Hunting, like he's been doing that forever, and I think here he does it in a way that really, it's not a lot of like emoting acting. It's a lot of like just like and simple like facial expressions, and like just you can feel like you're in his mind and you know what he's thinking, right? Because it's like the whole movie he's remembering what he's done, and how he can move on from that and how he can grow it to be a better person. And I think the way that he portrayed it was really well done, but also pretty subtle too. Not like it wasn't in your face. It was very subdued and subtle. So I thought, yeah, he was probably my favorite. Shout outs to Robert Pattinson. I mean, he's always amazing. Like you're never not going to get a good performance out of him. He was great. He's always great as the slimy villain, and that here is no exception. And I mean, nobody's really talking about her, but Charlize Theron was also really good. Like
Oh yeah.
for the amount of screen time she is in, I think she like stands out very much, especially like when they're having those conversations between Odysseus and Calypso. I just thought like there was a lot more emotion going on there than there probably shouldn't be. Like I actually felt a really like a bond between the two characters, even though like one of them doesn't want to be there anymore, and the other one is looking. One of them is lonely, and the other one is looking to go home. You know, but like she takes advantage of it, and I think the way that she portrayed that and portrayed her loneliness in a way where again, it's pretty subtle, but at the same time, like she has those like moments where like you can feel her emotion pouring through without any crazy like bursts of emotion, like not like what Anne Hathaway is doing, where she's has those bursts of emotions here and there, and she's also great too. I really liked her, but um, yeah, and John Leguizamo also great. I was actually really surprised by him. I didn't realize how much he was going to be in the movie, and I was very happy with how much he was, because he stood out, and I thought he was awesome. Any scene him and Argus were in was fantastic. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I thought Tom Holland was fine. I thought John Bernthal was fine. Like those, they weren't like, I wouldn't say they were bad at all, but I wouldn't say they stood out at all either. And like some of the other cast members, like Lupita Nyong'o's in it for all of 5 seconds, so it's not really a whole lot there to grab onto. But
Yeah.
the main ones that I want to praise are Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, and Charlize Theron. Also, shout out to John Leguizamo because he was fantastic. So, well, I mean,
Robert was great.
yeah, he was. I mean, like he's always so good at just being a slimy person. Whether that's like whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I mean, it makes him a good villain. You can feel his villainy even when he's not even saying anything. It just he always works out when he does it. And I mean, this is his second Christopher Nolan movie. I want him to be the lead of the next Christopher Nolan movie. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see
Oh
him
yeah.
be the lead instead of like the villain or Neil from Tenet. I think he would just take over the screen if he was the lead. But he still takes over the screen in
Totally
this,
agree.
even though he's not in it. Like he's not the main character. But yeah, he's always great. I'm loving his resurgence. Can't wait to see him do it again for Dune. And yeah, I think what really moved me was for these performances is that they're not as emotive as like what other directors would do, but you can still feel that through the different, you know, like through the music and through the way that's the directing. I think that all those elements combined, even with the subdued acting in some parts, I think it works really well. But um, yeah, I thought everybody mostly did a really good job.
Yeah, dude. No, I agree. I think like even the minimal performances were still fantastic. I mean, yes, Lupita Nyong'o was barely in it, but she did great. You know, not like Oscar worthy. Like she
Hmm.
just did a great job. I was very surprised with Elliot Page though. One of
Mm-hmm.
the first characters we see, and to all the haters yet again out there, they're gonna have him
It's
play
Achilles. It's Achilles. It's
Achilles.
like no,
I'm like, no.
Achilles isn't even in the movie.
Yeah, and some people might be like, "What? Achilles not in the movie? We don't need him. It's not
Yeah,
about
it's the
Achilles. It's
Odyssey. It's
about
not the
Odysseus."
Iliad.
Yeah, like if you want that, go watch Troy. Also, a really fun movie. I had a lot of fun rewatching it with Alicia, but this is clearly better.
Yeah.
I don't care anyone that tries to say no, Troy is way better. I'm like, okay, you clearly don't watch enough movies.
Mm,
But to each their own, though. No disrespect to people that love Troy. I love Troy. I gave it like an 8 out of 10. It's a fun movie.
mm.
And Brad Pitt's awesome. He's the perfect Achilles. Uh, but I was very surprised with Elliot Page because of just yet again, John is like the heart, but I would say another piece of that heart is the dog and Elliot
Mm-hmm.
Page, who plays Sinad,
Sinan.
Sinan, and everything building up to the moment where you get to Hades, and then later on where Matt Damon gives back the shame to Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. Great stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Like it's a perfect build up from the first, like one of the first characters you see to one of the final transactions that Odysseus gives back. It's perfect, and I was very moved with the limited amount of scenes that Elliot Page was in. I thought he did a really good job with what they were given, and I was actually very impressed with how much I did care about that arc. I'm not saying it's the best arc or second best arc, but it's the moments when they happened, they stood out to me. And I felt heartbreak for Odysseus when we go back to the scene where he is inside the horse and then going back and realizing, oh, he really did care about this boy, this kid, and literally he grew up uh, with Odysseus,
Yeah.
and then to also see them in hell and say thanks, buddy. That must be a really horrible feeling to just sit. And Matt Damon just knocks it out of the park with holding that performance of regret.
Yeah.
And also the little DJ scratch you hear with Ludwig's score in Hades, another chef's kiss moment. Can't believe that happened. At least it sounded like a DJ scratch, or maybe it's like a bronze, scratch. I know there's a lot of behind the scenes of how he couldn't use an orchestra. Absolutely incredible work from him. But yeah, I was really really impressed by Elliot Page too. But everybody, yeah, it's great stuff. And I guess nearing to the overall thoughts section, but first, I think we should talk about a couple of scenes that stood out to us, like favorite moments. I mean, shoot, I'll save my favorite one for last, but when you get to the uncanny small child, but not really small child moment, and they run into the forest,
Yeah.
epicness happens. Mist, these ginormous, I don't know what they're called. They start with an L. I'm not going to pronounce it.
I would just call them giants.
They're giant, shiny, silver armored soldiers that are ready to kill you. And I guess in the books, they're cannibals. Didn't know that. Researched that, and I'm like, oh, they're going to eat them later. Well, they have a lot of meal.
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot. They're gonna have a lot of meat after what they did.
Good protein, but it's incredible with how it's shot, and then something that I didn't expect was the environment, how they trap people. It's like it's rotating. The trees are rotating in the ground, and it's trapping everybody. You think you're about to leave, but nope. It's essentially just you're stuck in this structure that they built, that they manipulated. And I don't know, I don't understand the mechanics. I don't care. It's about feeling. And I felt it, and I had anxiety. The score was bumping. It had this, I could tell like there was like also a mixture of vocals happening in the background with this just loud, bombastic banging of drums. Beautiful. It's a top 3 favorite scene for me. My jaw was to the floor during that moment. How everything was just shot. I like the costuming. Yeah, there were some moments with CGI, but I didn't care. I was just overwhelmed with what I was witnessing. It felt like a scene that I'm just blessed that we get to live and witness stuff like this, dude. I think that scene was just absolutely insane. And another scene that stood out to me was, I mean, shoot, the Cyclops, it's like, it lasts for like 15, 20 minutes, but that was just anxiety inducing still. The practical
He's got to
work.
make a horror movie, man, because I was like,
he does.
I was freaking out. And the way it's designed too is like so like it's so unique, but it makes sense, It's like it's a Cyclops. Like a Cyclops just like being a one-eyed, human being is one thing. But like at the same time, like it's a monster. Like make it seem like it's a monster, Like I think they differ obviously from the source material, because in the source material it's got, it can speak to it speaks to Odysseus. It talks to Odysseus. It has like thoughts and feelings and whatnot. But this, it's more portrayed like an abomination, or like what was I gonna say? It's like it's Poseidon's son, and but it's more of like I'm for lack of a better term, like a bastard. You know what I mean? Like he's not actually his son. Like he's portrayed like he's some throwaway thing that is an accident. I guess you could say is an accident. And like I feel like the way that that's portrayed is so much more interesting than just being, oh, he's the son of Poseidon. He's kind of like he's the outcast, and I think it works really well in the movie because it makes that interaction horrifying. Because I mean, if I saw a giant human being walking in and had only one eye, I'd kind of freak out. And like I think it really worked for the movie, and I know they didn't do the trick. The Odysseus didn't trick the Cyclops. I get it, like it's different, but I think for what the movie is trying to do, like take the book out of it, the way that it works in the movie, I think it works really well, and the horror elements to it really. That scene and the scene with Cersei, holy shit, dude! The Cersei scene, that was the scene that I was like, oh, he's got to do like a body horror movie or something, because that was the most unique thing, like in the entire movie, like that I thought was like the biggest standout. uniqueness, and just the way that it's portrayed is just so diabolical, gross, but also makes sense, so much sense. And the way that he portrays this magic in this world is so much more interesting than just, oh, it, like in Cinderella, oh, now you're an animal. Like, no, like she's molding them into animals. She's putting them
Yep.
into these bodies, like not like by the wave of a hand, but by art. It's like she's making a sculpture when she's doing it. Like it's like pottery, and I think it's so unique. It's so interesting. Like this is the type of shit that I love because it makes it so much more interesting than just a simple wave of the hand. It's taking the time to make something that's wholly original but also terrifying, and I think it works
Makes you
so
feel
well.
uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah, yeah, oh
utterly
yeah.
uncomfortable.
She's putting
Like,
his her
ugh.
hand down these guys' throats, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, ew, 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 ew,
Nolan had
ew.
fun with that shot. Nolan had fun with that shot. You know the one where it's like one of the last ones, they just hand in the throat. I'm like, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
just did that because you're a freak, Nolan. You're a
Yeah,
freak.
yeah. He'd probably been dreaming about that for a while. But
He's like, oh, yeah, put that hand down the throat.
put the hand down the throat. But yeah, you can keep going with your favorite scenes.
Oh, dude. I mean, I agree with you. The Cersei scene is a yeah, a top three. That's it's gosh, yeah, it'd probably be the giant soldier. Like in fourth, it would be the Cyclops scene, the giant soldiers, Cersei. But oh, and before I say number one, that whole sequence, the molding, no CGI was used. That's what I've heard.
Mm.
I'm not. Don't take it for
I
100%
feel like there was a
gospel
little
from
bit of
what I've heard.
CGI used there, just a little bit, because you could tell like some of the eyes like were not
A little
real.
wonky, but man, if they were able to like build these practical molding, like I could see that be possible. But I applaud them if that's true. That's what I heard, that they didn't use CGI. But oh my god, it's beautiful stuff. And this movie cost $250 million, and you see everything. Like
Yeah.
it is worthy of the price. Unlike Moana, but we're not here to talk about
What?
Moana.
Why would you say
Um,
that? Moana is a 10 out.
Garbage.
It's one of the greatest cinematic achievements of all time. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just a woke shill.
I just, I call it like I see it. Maybe you have a character that's about being in water. Maybe you film the people in actual water. Disney. Just, I don't know. If you got $250 million to spend, maybe go actually in location, like Nolan. But I mean, neither here nor there. But moving on. Number one best scene to me, dude, the reunion with Argos, his dog.
Mm, yeah. Oh
Truly
yeah.
man's best friend. That I'm recently became a dog owner. I've had dogs in my life, but they were never really mine. They were my parents. And I
Yeah.
have never really known what it's like to take care of a dog. I didn't take care of my dogs, honestly. I mean, like I was there, but it was genuinely my parents, and I was out of the house all the time, so I never really paid that much attention. Uh, but now being a dog owner with my wife, that's our basically mini baby right now.
Yeah.
It that is our best friend, and we love our Coco to death. So much she loves us that she likes to make cameos randomly in
Right.
my filming time. But I just imagine my dog in all of those scenes, especially when freaking Corey Hawkins. By the way, shout out to him. Great actor, and I hated him in this movie. When he was kicking the dog, I wanted to beat the
Yeah.
living crap out of him. Not you,
Yeah.
Corey, your character.
Hmm.
I know the difference. But
Thank God he got shot in the neck.
oh yeah, is that great scene too? Oh my god, I forgot about that. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me.
The bow, the stringing of the bow, just, ugh, so
Yes, just
satisfying.
bung. Oh, cinema. Okay,
That
sorry,
that
but
bowstring has been playing in my head for the past like three
dude,
days.
that is Ludwig knew what he was doing when he created that signature sound. Like there are signature sounds that Ludwig is associated with. Mandalorian, Black Panther, right? Like people know when they hear that. Oh, that's Ludwig. That is gonna be another one. I'm
Yeah.
saying now that pluck Ludwig. Like people instantly remember. Uh, but yeah, it the reunion. It just embodied everything that I just love about movies, which is great character building. And he used a dog, man's best friend, to get to this climactic moment of realization for the dog waiting for his owner. John Leguizamo saying it, he's waiting, and you feel that, and you feel it immediately when you can tell. There's like no other character that recognizes Odysseus the way that Argos does. Like, it actually genuinely brings me to tears. How Nolan just shot it, placed it, Jennifer edited it, the performance from Matt Damon and Tom looking at his dad, realizing in that moment, this is my dad. So you have that realization, you have this realization, and that's what I live for in movies, man. Like emotions. I want to be moved. I want to have an experience. So that to me is one of the reasons why this is a perfect movie for me, because I felt it. That's the best way to put it. And you can take logic, you can take reasoning from these scenes and still just have emotion. And that's what I love out of movies. I still love logic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, yeah, just throw away logic. I don't care. Transformers, Michael Bay. Yay. I mean, I like some of them. I hate a lot of them. But I still want.
But at the same time, like, it's robots fighting robots. I think we can suspend our disbeliefs a little bit.
But Age of Extinction, the last night.
Yeah, no, oh, no. Oh, no. We don't have to bring those up. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I know. You mean the good ones. The good Michael Bay ones. But it just, I want all those things, right? Give me the boom, boom, bang, bang. Give me the solid script. Give me the intellectual reasoning on why these certain plot points move into this direction. And then sometimes I just want to cry seeing a man reunite with his dog and then have a beautiful conversation where a son realizes, that's my daddy. And then the daddy says, and you are the worthy, beautiful son. You can't get better writing than that. I'm sorry. And that was the best. Like, I didn't see actors. I saw two people in time connecting. That's my favorite scene. And that, I think, embodies also the forgiveness for Odysseus. Seeing, his past, greeting him at the door with nothing but love. Because that's all that's waiting for Odysseus is love from his wife, from his son, from the people that he left behind, and his dog. And then guess what? The dog is wagging his freaking tail, and then it's a lifeless corpse. I hate you, Nolan. You are a genius. You ripped my heart out, and there's still hope, because then he, gets to kill like over 30 dudes in the most crazy close-up action shots that reminded me of the bad action in the Dark Knight movies. But I didn't care. I was just overwhelmed with everything that was building up to that. And yes, there was some shaky cam in the action. I genuinely wasn't bothered by it. I actually think it bolstered it with the score by Ludwig that just had drums on repeat for 5 minutes, building and building and building and building. You think it's going to end, but it doesn't. And I think it's actually Nolan's best action scene because of what it means. Okay, next to Bane, I would say the Bane fight halfway through The Dark Knight Rises. I love everything about that. That is a childhood memory for me. But it because of character work, man. It really. I felt the rage. I felt the vengeance that Odysseus felt all those years. You know how he said 10 years of rage going through those gates of Troy? There was all that rage that he finally got to let out to these people. I love it. Overall thoughts, loved it. It's peak. Can't wait for Dune Part 3. That's me, man.
That's true.
That's me. Sorry. I love it, dude.
I'll give my favorite scenes briefly, just because we want to get to our Nolan ranking, so I don't want to take too long.
Oh yeah.
I would say my
take your time, bro. We're here to talk. Take your time, man.
Well, we got House of the Dragon to watch though too. It's almost
That's true. That's true. We're already 30 minutes in. We're already 30.
Yeah, we're already missing the episode. Yeah, but it's a worthy to miss this episode to talk about the Odyssey. I'll just say that.
Yep.
but I'll just say, yeah, my favorite scenes. I think my favorite scene is when he's talking to Penelope, um, and like it's going through the like, what if in one night, a whole like thousands of people spilled out their
Yep.
rage in a single night, and I thought that whole thing was unbelievable. The way that Athena pops in and how that is portrayed, I thought was brilliant. Like I think that was basically a great way of showing that the gods have always been there, and like they're just seen in different ways. So like for Odysseus, it's by a woman who was killed during the siege of Troy, and I think that works really well, especially with who Athena is in Greek mythology. So that was my like favorite scene. I think it was probably maybe top five directed scene by Christopher Nolan. I will
Great
argue
scene.
that I will argue that for a really long time. And then number two favorite scene would probably be just the actual siege of Troy, the whole
Mm,
the Trojan horse thing, and like I saw the scene when I went to go see Avatar, so it was the prologue when that came out, and I was shaking in my seat when it was playing. It was unbelievable. I think just on a technical aspect, it's crazy good, and I just it was something that I never knew Christopher Nolan could pull off, and he was able to pull it off flawlessly. And then probably third favorite is, yeah, the reuniting of Argus and Odysseus. I thought that was just so emotional, but so simple, but it works so well. And I when he wagged that tail, if I didn't have anybody around me watching it with me, I probably would have started crying because
yep.
that broke my heart. But I was like, I'm just glad that he was able to reunite with the dog who has been waiting 20 years just to see his master again because he gave him a chance. He didn't let John Leguizamo throw him off a cliff. He gave him a chance to be a hunting dog, and ever since they've been best friends and sharing one last moment together. I think it was just beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. And then honorable mention, yeah, is probably going to be the trial of the bow. I think, like, yeah, number four favorite scene for sure, trial of the bow. It's just iconic. Like it was in
Oh
the
yeah.
it's in the book. It's in all the adaptations you'll see, and it's no exception here. It's just the way that the music blends in with the scene is so well done, and throughout the entire movie, it's been building up to this moment, and you've seen him do it multiple times, and you're just like, once he does it, in that final time, it's just like, oh, it feels so good, so satisfying, and then he just goes on a rampage, and it's awesome. So those are my favorite scenes. I mean, yeah, do we? I think we should get to the Christopher Nolan ranking, but I'll just say my final thoughts. I had a really good time with this. I was very happy with how it turned out. I'm glad I saw it twice already because if I only saw it once, I feel like I would be thinking about it differently. But having seen it now twice and having a totally new, being able to see it through the lens of somebody who's already seen it, it just gets better, I think. And that's the case for a lot of Nolan movies is that they're very rewatchable, and this is no exception. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Um, Technical masterpiece, except for some of the CGI in some places. But and just a really interesting and great deconstruction of a story we've known forever. And I've been saying that this whole time, but it's true. It's you could have done the actual Odyssey the way that it was in the book, but Christopher Nolan said no. I want to do something that actually has some oomph to it, that is going to resonate with people today, and it worked. It really worked. So I'm very very impressed. I was very happy with how it turned out and how he was able to work in a sword and sandal environment for a movie like this because he'd never done that before, and I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, I really had a great time with the Odyssey for sure. Any final thoughts for you?
Like I said, dude, it's peak. It's cinema, guys. Go watch it. If you can see it in IMAX 70 millimeter, if it's possible, I really encourage you to see it if you can, or just see it in IMAX. That I know is a lot more accessible. It's just expensive, but trust me, it is actually like if there's only one. Sorry, if there are two IMAX movies to see this year, it's this one and Dune. Um, but I'm about to go check it out actually today. Since we're posting this on Monday, I'm gonna go see it in the afternoon in Dolby. See what the hype is
Mm.
about there. I heard it's
I
actually
heard it's
pretty
awesome.
beautiful.
I heard it's
Yeah,
awesome in
and
Dolby.
I can't wait to see the colors pop. Can't wait to see the Trojan horse in all
Hmm.
of its Dolby Vision glory.
That's right.
But
Don't
the
forget about
overall
the Dolby
thoughts.
sound.
Oh yes, Dolby Atmos. Come on. But
Come on.
yeah, the final thoughts from myself and the Trojan horse. It's a masterpiece. Just wanted to bring the Trojan horse down here for that because this is my emotional support popcorn bucket. That's what this is for me right now. Uh, it's truly a very beautiful film, and I jokes aside, I really recommend it, guys. It's a movie you just. It's kind of like Obsession in the sense of you really should be a part of the conversation if you love movies. Like, don't wait to stream this. Don't wait, please. If you really love movies, make the time to watch this. It's 3 hours, but it's worthy. It's a worthy amount of time to invest in if you like this sort of thing. And if you're
It's
watching this
worth every
episode,
minute.
yeah, it's worth every minute. And if you're watching something like this, you're already wasting an hour of your life. You might as well go waste 3 hours in a
Yeah,
Nolan movie. Come on.
exactly.
But
Come on.
yeah, I guess Nolan ranking time.
I think so. So I get the way we're doing it. We both agreed before we started is that we both have Following as the lowest rated, our least favorite Nolan movie. I would say. I still think Following is a pretty good movie. Obviously,
Same
it's
here.
not. It's nothing in comparison to what comes next. But since he has 13 movies split between two people, we just decided that Following is going to go last, and we're going to focus on the other 12 that he has, from Insomnia all the way till the Odyssey. And it just makes more sense. It's more fair, and yeah. So you said that you wanted me to start.
Sure, man. However, I will leave it in your hands.
Okay. Well, we'll be going. So this will be a collaborative ranking. Go back and forth between myself and Joseph, and we'll see if we have some controversial takes here for a Nolan ranking.
Oh
I
yeah.
already, I already know there's probably going to be one or two.
Yep.
But yeah, let me kick us off. Other than Following, at number 12, I think we got to go with Insomnia. Like I don't really think that's an argument. Still a good movie, but again, it's Nolan's third feature film after Following a Memento, and it's good. It's good, but it definitely doesn't shine a candle to his later work or even Memento. So I don't think there's any arguing there.
Yeah, I number 12 for me is The Dark Knight Rises. And here's the thing. All of these movies except Following's like a 7. All of these movies from now on till first are either 8s, 9s, or 10s. That's how much I love Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, The Dark Knight Rises is number 12 for me. Brief note: it was a fitting conclusion. I actually like how they ended things. I love the final shot, but it's weird seeing Batman in daylight, and there's some awkward choreography in that moment with the whole third act action set piece. Like I love the idea, but it was just kind of weird to actually see it. It was a little bit too long, but I still love Christian Bale as Batman, and Tom Hardy is iconic as Bane. I was wondering what would break first. But yeah, that's number 12 for me.
Number 11 for me is Tenet. I but I also still really like Tenet. I didn't
Ooh.
really like it that much the first time I saw it. I was like, and it was during COVID, so maybe it was just because I had COVID and was in that weird state of mind. But I the more times I rewatch it, the more times I like it, and I give it a 4 out of 5 right now. I think it's a great movie. It's so much fun to watch, and like you said earlier, don't try to understand it, just feel it, and you just have a freaking awesome time.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll get to that one later. Uh, 11, Insomnia. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I really, really actually enjoyed this film. I thought it was one of, when I grew up, it was one of my favorite performances that I've witnessed from Robin Williams. And I thought Al Pacino did a fantastic job playing a man just burdened. Christopher Nolan loves that, I guess, to see men go through hell. But I thought it was a really good detective, cat and mouse chase kind of film, and yeah, not too much else. I just thought it was a really solid, third entry for Nolan's career.
Yeah, and yeah. By the way, like what you were saying too, like all of his movies are like from this point on, including Tenet, are like eight and above. So 4 out of 5 and above.
Yep.
So, with that in mind, my number 10 is Batman Begins. And I know that's a kind of a crazy take. I know a lot of people really love the movie, and I do too. But I feel like, in my opinion, it's the weakest of the three. Well, and honestly, you could ask me on any day. I could probably say it's between Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins being the weakest of the trilogy. But both, I think, for me, though, I think the just a lot of the editing that's in Batman Begins really throws me off, and it's just so frantic and fast, and you can't see what's going on half the time, which sucks because the rest of the movie, whether like the characters and the atmosphere, is awesome. And shout out Chicago because they filmed a lot of that here, and I you can tell in the movie that it's in Chicago, but they also add some nice things like the monorail thing, but that doesn't come into play ever again, which is so funny. But yeah, I thought it was it's one of the best superhero introduction movies or origin stories for a movie, and it's just a good time. For me, the editing does hold it back a little bit, and some wonky scenes here and there, but still great movie. I give it a 4 out of 5. So yeah, number 10 for me is Batman Begins.
Well, I'm gonna keep this brief. Number 10, Batman Begins. I agree with
Hmm.
literally everything you just said. It's a film that I go back to and rewatch sometimes because I grew up with it. It was one of my first Batman movies I ever saw. Growing up in a Christian household, was Batman. These things up on his head represent devil's ears. Yeah, it's an actual thing people said.
Wow,
But I didn't care. I watched it
it's
behind
Batman. Come on.
my parents' back. Shout out to you, mom and dad, if you're watching this. But I yeah, I still love it. It's an 8 out of 10. But just keep it brief. Yeah,
Yeah,
same with you.
gotcha. Perfect. Well, I guess this will be even quicker too, because my next one, number 9, is The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I kind of already mentioned it. You could ask me on any other day, like I could say Batman Begins is 10 or The Dark Knight Rises is 10. But I just
Yeah,
feel like it's a really satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. I quote Bane like almost every single day, so I have to have it
he's
where it's at
iconic.
right now at 9. He's just iconic. That whole plane sequence at the beginning is
Yeah,
also like when I was saying like top 5 Nolan scenes, that's got to be in there. Like it's just unbelievable, and that's a technical masterpiece in and of itself. That could be like a short film that could have released before the movie, and saying, "Oh yeah, this is like a little short that we did to introduce Bane," and it's just so good, so good. I do agree. The plot's kind of nonsensical, especially when it comes to Batman coming back to Gotham after being exiled. Like, how did they not spot him coming into the city? Like, I feel like that would be
literally.
really, really easy to spot. And then like he really isn't Batman for a lot of this movie. But once that third act hits and like the whole battle's going on in the city and he's flying around in the bat copter, whatever it's called, it's just awesome. I think it's so sick. One of the worst death scenes in a movie, though, obviously, with Marion
Yeah.
Courtier just kind of falling asleep. But regardless of that, I think it's a great ending to a great trilogy, and it works for me a lot more than others. But I still can acknowledge it does have its problems, but I still have just a great time with it.
Yeah, number 9 for me, Dunkirk. Um,
Okay.
I love this movie. I absolutely love this film. Like I'm now in the I love these movies category. Like the next after like from this and the next 8 movies, I love. I, I it's this is where it just gets hard. Okay, honestly, it just
Mm-hmm.
gets hard for me to place them. I don't think I just feel. Just copying what Nolan would intend. But Dunkirk is a special film that I experienced in IMAX because it felt like my eardrums blew out in the very opening. The first gunshot you hear, I felt like I got shot.
Yeah.
I will never forget that experience. It is, yeah, it's low on character building, character study, and it's more about immersing you in an experience that maybe you are blessed to not have to experience. And even if, like, regardless of the not character work, it is still a technical achievement. It's an amazing, just what Nolan was able to accomplish on so many different levels. It's a film that I actually go back to and I appreciate every time I rewatch it. The score by Hans Zimmer is exhilarating and anxiety inducing. And when you get to the ending, it brought sorrow but hope. Uh, and yeah, I loved it. That's my number 9, Dunkirk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll be very interested to see where that ends up on mine. But
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet.
number 8, I have The Prestige. This was one that I actually it took a lot longer for me to watch. But this is like years ago. But I finally watched it, and it was just awesome. Like I really wish Hugh Jackman would work with Christopher Nolan again. He's just that good in this movie. Like this and Prisoners, I think is not even close. Like they're easily his best performances, and
Yeah.
I just wish he did more with him. But just as a movie overall, just incredibly well done. The twists in it are fantastic. The vibe of it, the whole story of it too. Like I'm pretty sure it's based off a book, if I remember correctly. And the way that he does it is just so interesting, and it's such a simple story, but with so many complex layers, and how Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale play those parts of these obsessed magicians in like the 1800s, early 1900s is just fascinating, and I just had an absolute blast watching it. The final like 20 minutes is just unforgettable movie making. I hate that it's like for film guys like us, like it's one that we know about, but unfortunately for like everybody else, it's one that most people don't remember about, and which sucks because it should be talked about a lot more. But I have The Prestige at number 8. I give it a 4 out of 5, and then also Dark Knight Rises. I forgot to mention. I also give it a 4 out of 5. So my number 8 is The Prestige.
And same number
Oh,
8, The Prestige.
hell
This
yeah!
is a film that it delivers. It's like the honestly, this is where I think Nolan solidified himself in just wanting to mess with your mind and what you're seeing. Like later on, you get stuff like Tenet, you get Inception, um, and even Interstellar. Just like I think The Prestige was a staple for me at least growing up. Of this guy is incredible with what he shows you, and then when he actually reveals what that meant later on.
Right.
It really messed with my brain chemistry. When I go back to it, I still get a rewarding experience. Yes, you know what happens. Like if you go back to it, you understand. Okay, this is what this was actually building up to the entire time. But it doesn't matter because, like you, I think it's one of Hugh Jackman's best performances. Christian Bale is amazing playing two people, which as a kid
Spoilers.
blew my mind. Oh, sorry. I guess it's 20 years old, people. I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
but it's 20 years. Sorry, people. But yes, slight spoiler. He plays two people. And even then, my mind was blown when I was a kid. I'm like, oh my God, watching it as an adult with my friend, I'm like, yeah, that's Christian Bale. They thought they could
Right.
hide that with the stupid mustache. No offense. But being an adult watching it, I'm like, yeah, that's freaking Christian Bale. Um,
Right.
but still great stuff. Great stuff. But yeah, that's same. Same with you. Prestige number 8.
Also, like the scene with Hugh Jackman when he's looking at the water tanks, sick,
Yeah.
absolutely
Oh,
sick. Just that
gut
it was
wrenching
building up to
stuff.
that moment, yeah, and I love that. So, number 7. This is where I'm going to put the Odyssey. This is where I'm putting the Odyssey.
Ooh.
But like I gave it a 4.5, so everything that's coming
Yeah.
like next
That's how
is
good
all
he
four and a
is.
halves. That's how good he is, exactly. He's like him and Denis Villeneuve have the same like thing with me. It's like there's a certain point where it's banger, banger, banger. Like from Prisoners till Dune Part Two, like I don't think I've rated his movies lower than a 4.5, like at all.
Mm.
And that's the same with Christopher Nolan right now, except for Tenet, because I give Tenet a 4. But the Odyssey, yeah. I mean, based on all the things that we talked about earlier in our review, I really like this movie. I had a really good time with it. I do have some issues with it, sure, but it all makes up for it in one of the best third acts I've ever seen in of this decade of the 2020s. So it's just it's an incredibly ambitious, huge, but also intimate and emotional movie that really resonates and really turns the Odyssey story on its head and makes you think of it in a different light. And I really appreciated that. So, Odyssey number 7, 4.5 out of 5. What is your number 7?
Number 7 is Tenet.
Mm,
Rewatching this about a month or two ago made me fall in love with it even more. And just experiencing it with somebody who doesn't really particularly care about movies, my friend who watched it, it just kind of made me just go, you know what? I actually love this movie. I felt, again, using the keywords, felt. I felt something. The editing was insane, and the more I try to think about it, the more I do actually understand some of the things, and the more I am completely at a loss of words of what Nolan is doing, and I don't say that as a negative. It is one of those films where you should rewatch it. If you're confused by the movie, you know what? That's your brain telling you, hey, pop in Tenet. Hey, stream Tenet right now. Go watch it. John David Washington gives one of my favorite lines in that film saying, I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. I
I
don't know why.
ordered
It's
my hot
it's
sauce an
it's
hour ago.
it's great. It's great stuff. And Robert Pattinson saying, "Hey, basically we've been best friends, and now I'm gonna go die." Uh, Brutal,
Yeah.
brutal stuff. I love everything about it on a technical level. Ludwig, their first time partnering together
Oh, the
with
score is fantastic.
yeah, the score is insane. It's insane. The airplane sequence, he actually did that. That's what
Oh
every
yeah.
film bro says. Oh, did you know that's real? But it is. It was real.
The
Uh,
fire truck scene, that score is
yes,
crazy good.
dude.
So good.
It's that yeah, I mean everything on the technical level like I said is great. And I actually found myself tearing up by the end. I've never teared up out of like the 5 times I've watched it. This being my 5th time recently, I teared up. It actually got me, and that's why I bumped it up to originally it was a 7 to an 8. It's well, specifically an 8.5. I want to say a 9, but there were just still some things that I had issues with. But yeah, that's my number 7. Tenet.
That's a good pick. I every time I watch it, I like it more. It's just kind of crazy. All right, so yeah, number 6, I am putting Memento. Memento, another
Yeah.
one that it took me a while to get to. I had been putting it off for so long, even though I really wanted to watch it, and when I finally did, I was just kind of blown away. Like it is a little complicated, but you understand everything that's going on, and just the way that it's told is so like how I did it with the Odyssey. It's so ambitious, but it works, and it makes a crime thriller about a guy having amnesia go from being a boring snooze fest to something that's so interesting and brings so many cool ideas. Um, what's the guy's name? Who main guy
Guy
who's
Pearce.
just Guy Pearce. Yeah, I was gonna say Guy Ritchie. I was like, that's not the same guy. Guy Pearce, unbelievable in it. Absolutely, might be top three performance of his. It might even be his best. He's so good in it. I loved him in this, and um, I just yeah, Memento is this was the birth of a true artist in Christopher Nolan, and showed what kind of ball he was playing with, and
Mm.
he was absolutely crushing it. He was batting 1,000 with this movie, and it's just so good. And the fact that it's his second movie is like it's just unbelievable. So number six, Memento, I have it at a 4.5 out of 5.
Yet again, same here. Number 6, Memento. I'll keep it brief. Love it. And you know what? I'll take back what I said about The Prestige. You're right. This came before The Prestige. This is what stapled his career on being the mind-bending, twisting, story structure, narrative kind of creative that Christopher Nolan is. It is my favorite performance of Guy Pearce, next to him when he plays the douchebag best friend in The Count of Monte Cristo. Great
Mm,
movie.
yeah,
That's my second favorite performance from him. But here, yeah, when you get to that final act, I mean, the whole movie makes me
yeah.
go, but everything building up to this is a special film. If you haven't seen, I really don't want to reveal what happens. But when you realize what is going on, yeah, it's one
Mind
of the
blowing.
greatest reveals. It's one of the greatest, if not a top 5 greatest reveals in cinematic history. It really is that good. Um, that's my number 6. 4.5 out of 5, like you. Memento.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right, top five. Number five.
Here we go.
This might be controversial, but I have Inception. Inception at number five. I for a long time before I got into actually doing content creation, Inception used to be like my favorite movie ever. And like that's
Oh
such a
yeah,
dude thing to say, but
it
it
is, but
is.
it's true.
It was true. Yeah, it is. Inception was the movie that really made me fall in love with movies, and while I've rewatched it over the years, I like it less than I used to, just because I notice a lot more things about it that just I don't know don't sit with me the right way. But regardless, this is an ambitious and just absolutely entertaining, like thrill ride from beginning to end. Like and just the concept alone is enough to get my butt on a chair and watch it again. It's just so interesting, and the visuals that are presented, it's just iconic. Everything is iconic. The score, that'll always be used in movie trailers from now on. It's just everything about it just screams peak filmmaker, and this is really the one that showed that he can do so like many new concepts with a big budget while also still having just a great story. And Leonardo DiCaprio, another star who hasn't worked with Christopher Nolan since, who I think would be great to work with again at some point. He's so good in it. The whole cast is great. Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like just an all-time cast, all-time movie. It is one of the defining movies of the 2010s, and just every time you watch it, you always pick up on something new. But also, it's just a great, entertaining watch. And while I don't think it's his best written movie, I still think that the visual and audio experience make up for those shortcomings for sure. So I got Inception at number five, 4.5 out of 5 as well.
At number 5 is Oppenheimer for me, which is a
Mm,
4.5 out of 5. This movie really just, I mean, Barbenheimer. What else do I need to say?
mm-hmm.
Barbenheimer. It was a movement, it was a time in history, and I can't believe a movie about white dudes talking about bombs for 3 hours made almost $1 billion. That's insane, but only in America, I guess.
Mm,
But no, but seriously, it is an incredible feat. I think this is Nolan's best script. Even though it's not my favorite movie, it is his best script. I think it's very mature, and we talked about it earlier. It is about the consequences of man in science specifically, and where you might have the right intentions, that sometimes that really doesn't matter in certain cases, and you get to see a harrowing look at a man who was crucified for things he didn't deserve.
A man.
Uh, a man,
A man.
a
A
trick,
bomb. A
a
bomb.
bomb, World War II. But yeah, I mean, it really is some of Christopher Nolan's best work in a 3-hour film about just people talking about science and things that I don't understand, but I still was able to comprehend what was going on. That's the other reason why I was impressed by it. How he was able to captivate you for that entire 180 minutes, and I never felt the pacing. I never felt the length. Honestly, I never did, because I was so locked in. And it was also great editing, yet again, by Jennifer Lame.
Mm-hmm.
A great score by Ludwig. Can you hear the music? Can you? Iconic scene. That and the bomb sequence, my favorite moments in the film. I still listen to it on repeat. Can you hear the music? Yeah, I don't really need to say anything more other than it was almost a masterpiece. But the only thing that brings it down is I didn't feel the connection that he had with Florence Pugh's character. I know it's not the main relationship, but Nolan really wanted you to feel that, especially when you get to a certain moment in the story. And I didn't, I don't want to say I didn't care, I just didn't feel it, sadly. That's the only reason why it's not a 10 out of 10. It is a 9 out of 10. Great movie. Not a great, it's an amazing film. But it's not going to be for everyone. I know, because my friend hated it. He gave it a 3. Yeah.
Still a
Yeah.
good score.
Don't
So
come.
it's a positive score technically.
Yeah, it could have been a 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 5, Oppenheimer.
Oh well, just jumping off of that, number 4 for me is Oppenheimer, and this is my first 5 out of 5 Nolan movie on this list right now. I
Yep.
I freaking love this movie. This movie is just so it's so different from what you would expect from Nolan. It is probably the best art house blockbuster maybe ever. Because like this is not your typical. This is not your typical action packed movie with explosions going off and cities bending. It's about science and it's about our history and it's about how our actions have created major consequences that at any point could end the entire world. And
Mm.
portraying that through Oppenheimer and him creating the nuclear bomb is just so fascinating. And Cillian Murphy, my God, he's just absolutely goated. I've loved him ever since he showed up as Scarecrow in in Batman Begins, and I mean 28 Days Later. But here, this is career best performance for sure.
Oh God,
He's
yeah.
just unbelievable. He deserves every single Oscar. Like, what more can I say? And just the way that the story's told, like no one weaves it in such a way that it makes it so much more interesting than your typical biopic. And the imagery, the visuals by Hoyt van Hoytma is just incredible. And obviously the score by Ludwig. This is Ludwig's best score for me, not even close. Like all due respect to Sinners and the Odyssey and Tenet and I guess the Mandalorian, but Oppenheimer, he's just operating on a totally different level, and it's one that I don't know when he'll top it, but it might be a while because just every single piece of music in that movie is iconic now, and that's saying something because the movie only came out like 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
I really love the deconstruction of this movie and how our world was affected and how Christopher Nolan showed that and I just his directing. This is probably I think his best directed movie, best written movie as well, and probably the best acted movie other than one more that I got. Um, so I've got Oppenheimer at 4. It's a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love it.
We are twins because I think there are only 4 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 Nolan movies. It's just a little bit, rearranged. But to keep it brief, number 4, Inception.
Mm,
I This is a perfect movie for me. It's something that I grew up with. I own various different copies of the film. That's how much I love it. And it was the first time I was actually ever introduced to the amazing actor Leonardo DiCaprio. And watching him just do his thing with also iconic legends like for today, like Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Uh, Beautiful pacing, beautiful performances, beautiful score by Hans Zimmer. Time all day, every day, at the gym, at the house, at
Mm.
work. You can't stop me, people. I'm gonna listen to Time. But yeah, just to keep it brief because I'm so excited to get into the top three. But yeah, Inception, 5 out of 5. It's a perfect film, and I will never ever forget my first time viewing the scene with the building, the room flipping upside down, rotating, and
Oh,
how Nolan achieved that.
so good.
That the music iconic, the action, the choreography there was also fantastic. It's just, hey, go crazy, start spinning, love it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's me. Number 4, 5 out of 5, Inception.
All right. Hell yeah. All right. So top three. Top three. Here we go. This is where things are going to start getting very controversial. At least in
Yeah.
my, at least in my eyes. And on my list at number three, I have The Dark Knight. Dark Knight number three. 5 out of 5 movie. Obviously, what's there? There's not a whole lot to say here that hasn't been said, other than it's just awesome. It's the best Batman movie. Heath Ledger as the Joker will never be topped, no matter how many Joaquin Phoenix performances we get. It'll never be topped. It's just that good. And just everything about it is just so well layered and crafted that I can't help myself but love it every single time. And what's great is now that I'm living in Chicago, I see the scene where the truck flip scene. I see
Yeah.
that building every single day, and I'm like, that's where The Dark Knight was filmed. I'm like, that's awesome. And so it gives me a smile on my face every time I watch it, and just I could go on and on. Like, it's just there's so much here that's just it works so well. There's a reason why it's like a top 5 best superhero movie of all time. Hell, probably even the best one. But that's always up for interpretation. But at number three, Dark Knight. I love it. It's iconic. I grew up with it. 5 out of 5 movie. Um, Probably my favorite superhero movie of all time as well. So 5 out of 5, The Dark Knight for number three.
We don't have a list that's pretty like far different because exactly at number 3 is The Dark Knight, 5 out of 5. It is uh, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. To all the reasons that you just said, Heath Ledger is incredible, pulling things out of him that it's really hard to kind of conceive like an actor can do that, and Heath did it. Um, and there's a reason why he got that Oscar. And no, it's not because of the tragedy that happened. It's because he was worthy of the award. And yeah, I'll never forget being 12 years old, going to the theater by myself, saying, "Mom, Dad, can you drop me off to the theater? I'm gonna go watch that devil movie." I'm just kidding. I didn't say that to them. But yeah, I mean, yet again, to keep it brief, same feelings. Number 3, Dark Knight, 5 out of 5. It's perfect.
All right, number two, Dunkirk. I
Mm.
love Dunkirk so much. I think this movie is Christopher Nolan's just absolute masterclass in tension and direction, and just everything about this movie is I think it's a perfect movie almost. And if if you took all of the dialogue out of this movie, I think it's even better. It's just 'cause you don't even need it to understand what's going on. But it's just I every single day I think about this movie, and it only gets better in my mind. It's an audio visual masterpiece with some of the most tense and exhilarating moments in a historical biopic, like the boat scene where it's sinking, or the plane, the dogfight, or even just the opening scene with the gunfire. Like it, and you never see the enemy, you never see the Germans, like because it's like they're all around them, and they don't even need to see them to know that they're surrounded. And it's just such an interesting story from a historical point of view, but the way that Christopher Nolan does it, it's so good. I think like I would argue it could be Christopher Nolan's best looking movie visual wise. Um, Hoyt van Hoytman's just he's the goat. He's absolutely goated, and Hans Zimmer's score is fantastic as always. So it's very controversial. I know Dunkirk at number two, 5 out of 5. I believe it's just it's it's amazing. More than amazing. It's incredible. So Dunkirk at number two for me.
Number two for me, and it's been number one for a very long time, for about 12 years. Uh, Interstellar. Um, a movie that is an experience that just takes you on a journey, almost like an Odyssey. I wonder why I used that word. But
Say that again.
say that again. But Interstellar, it boasts with, I think, oh, gosh, I don't know. I have to think about this, but it was my favorite movie to look at visually. I really have to take time to think about what is my number one, but for a long time it was, but not even just because of that, what it was able to achieve through cinematography, but the score by Hans Zimmer was my number one soundtrack to listen to studying for school. And
Hmm.
then afterwards, just going on a run, working out, I was always listening to the sound of wind, basically, or Hans Zimmer sleeping on the organ, as people like to call that score.
Yeah,
Just him. I.
it's
It's just
peak.
iconic. It's peak, as the kiddos like to say. It's peak. But No
Mm-hmm.
Time for Caution. It's an all timer. It's a moment that is a staple for me in movie loving history. It courses through my veins whenever I put that scene on, but all throughout the film, rewatching it too, actually recently, just stapled before watching a certain film why it was my number one. And it's also because of the emotional connection that you have between a father and a daughter. It really does pull you in in his most humanistic approach in storytelling that is so simple but moving. And I don't care what anyone says. Nobody can tell me that they saw it coming. What the whole bookcase, like what was up with the bookcase? If anybody tells you, yeah, I saw that coming when they revealed that in the third act, they're lying to you
Mm-hmm.
because they want to be the smartest person in the room. Because nobody would get that. Um, and if they do, it's because you just met Jesus Christ, because he sees everything. But no, just Nolan was working at another level when making that movie, and it's a movie that I wish I could just like inject in my veins and just live every day on repeat. But sadly, I have to work, I have to make a living, so I can't constantly think about Interstellar. I have
Hmm.
to, provide for myself and my family. But yeah, number two, 5 out of 5, Interstellar, perfection.
All right, number one, and I mean this is just I mean if you're listening, you already kind of know what it is, especially because we've listed off all the movies, but it's number one is Interstellar. It is
Yes.
it is the it is there's so many words I could use to describe it. It's an odyssey though. It's a space odyssey, and it is an absolute masterpiece of space odyssey. I Every single time one scene will come on that will pop up on my Instagram or YouTube, I will always watch it. It's a visual. It is one of, if not the best looking movie I've ever seen, and and that's not even including like space scenes. Like the scenes on Earth are just
Yeah.
visually striking and powerful. Um, and add on to that just the incredible use of space and time and how it is shifted into the narrative. And Matthew McConaughey just going uh, going absolute sicko mode and giving probably my favorite performance of his in this. Again, another one who has not been in another Christopher Nolan movie. I don't know why. And um, he's so good in this, and the way that did the relationship between him and his daughter, it's just it
Smurf.
absolutely perfect. The way that you said it about Argos with the Odyssey, that's how I feel with Coop and Murph, and that final scene where where she says like, "I knew you would come back," and he goes, "Why?" And then she goes, "Because my dad told me to." Breaks me every time, every single time, and it is so. It's a beautiful movie. It's a great exploration into humanity and who we are and what lengths we're willing to go to save the ones we love, and that's the ultimate thing. It's is love, and I think that works really well in this. And yeah, okay, it's kind of stupid, like with like, oh, love is the answer to everything, but I mean, it is. It really is. It's the one thing that we all share, and it's something we can't explain, but it's something that we all feel, and it surpasses time and space, and that's the main takeaway from it. So other than just being a beautifully shot and incredibly entertaining movie, it's just it's a very deep and thoughtful movie that goes into who we are as humans and what we are willing to sacrifice in order to save those that that we love. And I think it's just an absolutely beautiful movie. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, 5 out of 5. It's in my top 10 favorite movies ever made, and I just absolutely love Interstellar. So number one Christopher Nolan movie, Interstellar for me, 5 out of 5.
Great choice, my friend. Number one, obviously the Odyssey, and if you want to know why, go back to the beginning of this video,
Mm,
because this movie is peak,
yeah,
and you can listen to me just talk and talk and talk about why I love it. Just know I love it. It's amazing, and yeah, I really hate being that guy that's recency bias, but I genuinely took my time. I've watched it twice. I've prayed about it.
mm,
I've talked to my wife about it. She says I'm crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But I really think, yeah, this movie is, it's a, there's movies that are life-changing experiences, and that happens to be a lot of Nolan movies, honestly. And The Odyssey is right there. So number one, The Odyssey, 5 out of 5. Yet again, perfection. And guys, with that being said, what is your Nolan ranking? Did you watch The Odyssey? If you haven't, just stop what you're doing, get your ticket, go watch the movie. But yeah, that is our reaction, our review. That is our ranking. Please let us know how you feel. Please, please, please. We appreciate you guys watching this, and we really love that. We're honored that we just get to do this. We get to have conversations with each other, and we really want to build this strong community. With that said, peace out. Anything else you want to say, Sean, before we go?
nope. Other than we've been doing this for 2 hours, and I didn't think you'd go that long.
Yes.
We were trying to
Oh
keep it
yeah.
under an hour, and we're at two. So, but that just
Come
means we
on.
were having a really good conversation. But yeah, no, I think I'm all set here. Thank you guys for listening. And if you haven't seen the Odyssey, go check out the Odyssey. Let us know what you thought about it. What's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie? All that shebang. Give us your thoughts. And with that being said, have everybody have a good week, and we'll see you guys next week.
In the words of Odysseus, let's go home.
Let's
Peace.
go home. Peace.